This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places. Between payroll, your tax consultant, and the IRS. If your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah, and happy Wednesday to you.
Yes, a very happy Wednesday to you as well. It's always nice being back and having a whole, I don't know, this is a fun highlight of the week, I have to say.
I think so too. And some big news that I have to give you a shout out on.
Oh,
I don't know if you know, but you have a TED Talk out that is taking the world by storm.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Look at this.
Oh my God,
Thank
look
you.
at that person.
Look at Sarah on stage. Look at these power poses. Really communicating with the audience.
Power poses. You were so funny. Yeah, they got some good photos. Wow.
Tell us about it. What is it like to give a TED Talk?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I definitely have to say, what a crazy experience. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, would mean so much to me if you guys checked it out. I've shared it on every platform. So the link is out there, but it's called The Secret to Making Someone Feel Special. And this came together. I did it actually in October 10th in Davenport, Iowa, hence the reason why it's TEDx Davenport. And the process was wild. I got booked pretty last minute in the scheme of things. And it was like coming at the tail end of a busy season. We all know how we have like these waves of seasons. And of course it happened right in the middle of this busy season. Yay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing the link.
Our super fan is here.
Oh yeah,
Kay
we have
Frederick.
a super fan. Thanks, Kay Frederick. So it came together, and then normally after you do it, they end up publishing it on the TEDx YouTube anywhere from like 4 to 8 weeks after you do it. Well, they start publishing everybody else's that also was on the same talk as mine at the same evening. And I'm like, where is mine? Next thing you know, I get a message like, you were chosen as an editor's pick. And they're like, the cool thing about that, is great because TED puts a lot of effort and push behind it. It's shared in their newsletter, all of that. But they're like, the caveat is we don't know when it's going to come out. It could come out in 2 weeks. It could come out in 6 weeks. Well, it was much more than 6 weeks. And it was released on February 13th, right before Valentine's Day. So what a fun time to be thinking about how to make someone feel special.
Yeah, congratulations. And for viewers and listeners, go check it out. Go give it a like, give it a comment. Let's help spread that positivity she was sharing across the globe. And it's a 10-minute video. It's a nice bite size. It's a great speech you made. You delivered it great because they don't have cue cards or teleprompters.
Oh, no,
right?
You're completely memorized. That's the other thing I think not a lot of people realize is it's fully scripted. They have to approve your talk and they work with you to make sure it's constructed how they feel like it's the best way to be constructed. And then you have to be memorized. And it's in essence, word for word. So there's no winging it here. There's no like teleprompter, none of that. You have to, it is a full on memorized speech. So
you did awesome. I was cheering you on. I was nervous watching. Like I was yeah, I know it is already done. I was just like,
you were nervous. I was nervous. By the way, I didn't even see it until it came out. So even though I did it in October, never saw a video version of it until it would be like out in the masses. So I was like, man, I hope it's good.
No, it was excellent. Proud of you. Good job. It's not easy to do that and command the stage like you did and deliver a message. So great job.
Oh my gosh, what a process. So by the way, if anybody's out there and you have the dream to do a TED Talk, send me a note. I'd be happy to give you some pointers because I think all of us have special messages that mean a lot to us. And if you can use a platform like that to share what means a lot to you, I'm happy to help point you in the right direction. I want to see a room full of TEDxers. So happy to help others achieve their big dream of doing that too. So there you go.
All right. I might be knocking on your door. I'm following your footsteps little by little.
Well, maybe not technically knock on my door, but you can send me a note.
Virtual door. All right, Sarah, with the jokes. Where's the drum roll over here?
Oh my gosh. All right. So, well, I mean, obviously it makes sense. I will lead the charge on this one. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, you gave me a nice moment for an accolade, but let me just go ahead and turn it around for you. Just for a brief moment, because I saw your post yesterday about how like you had like a little surge of extra people buying your book, and I'm so proud of you. So every bit counts, and that is a huge deal. So check it out.
Well, there it is. Yeah, I was shocked to wake up and see 150 books sold in a day and a half, which was shocking to me. I don't know where it came from, but thank you to everyone that bought a book. It means the world to me. It's not like a conference I'm going to bought it or anything like that. I just woke up and saw it. So love it. Thank you all very much for supporting.
No, of course. I had to give you a shout out for that because that's always a cool thing. Like when you have like your book out there, again, similar to like a TED Talk and all of that, it takes time and effort. So kudos to you. And I mean, again, every additional person that has like your book in their hands, it's that much more meaningful.
Yes. Thank you to all of you. Look at this. Great things going around at GMH this morning.
Oh my gosh. All the things. We should do a gratitude session every morning. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay. So, we'll talk about my hometown, Los Angeles.
Yeah. Why don't I set this up for us?
Yeah. Please.
How about we set it up and I throw it as a question? Sure. All right. From Miami, it looks like the whole city has burnt down is what they show on the news. It looks like it's not a place to go visit, but people need to go back and travel to Los Angeles. Tell us what's going on actually on the ground. And we saw this article in Travel Weekly. So why don't you set it up for us? Yeah.
So, I mean, right now we're seeing a big push. Like I'm sure you guys are seeing Los Angeles is open. Definitely come and visit. Again, the reality is it's two areas were the ones that were burned that had significant damage, obviously, from the fires. But a solid majority, probably 97% of the rest of Los Angeles is fine. And so, I mean, I think it's always an interesting thing when you've got a sort of natural disaster that happens in a location, because the first reaction for other people is like, ooh, we won't come. We want to give them time. We saw this happen in Maui, for example, after their fires, and people were like, ooh, like not, there you go. So we can see the Los Angeles are saying, please come. But at the end of the day, many times, and so long as there's appropriate infrastructure, that's a wonderful time to visit. It's a wonderful time to visit because it generally isn't that crowded. But your visit helps bring funds to that city, that location. It helps with the infrastructure, all of that. So, hotels are saying, please come. There's space available. You can probably get better rates and all of that. And the restaurants aren't overly full or anything. So, it's this interesting time, but it definitely still has the LA spark that's going on out there. So,
I think it's good. I think for seeing this, I know how much it impacts, especially like small businesses, not just the hotels, but like the cafes and the restaurants and the vacation rentals. It gets tough because I see it. We manage some homes in Western North Carolina that are, Airbnb. People can book them, vacation rentals. And it's tough out there. People aren't booking them. And so this time last year they were full and now they're sitting empty. And these are just a couple of people. But imagine that spread out times thousands. It's just, I think, a good thing to try to go to these places that the news makes look so terrible sometimes. But then when you're actually there, you're like, oh, okay, this is not so bad. What's going on?
In fact, it's kind of nice because it isn't as crowded right now. So, So if you were at all thinking about coming to Los Angeles, you totally can. I'm looking right now at bright blue skies. We've had a lot of rain, so that makes the air is clean and clear.
All right, so I've never been to Los Angeles. Give me a 24-hour day. What should we be doing?
Oh gosh,
we're gonna have breakfast. Where are we going?
Ooh, okay. So, well, first of all, I will always say a place that I like to start or at least stay is in West Hollywood. And yes, I'm partial to that because I live in West Hollywood, but geographically it is in the center of the city. So it makes it easy to get to everything. So stay off of the Sunset Strip at one of those hotels there. Start your day at Dialogue Cafe. Dialogue Cafe is this epic, like American dream story. It started as a small cafe that was just like a neighborhood spot that like some people went to. And during the pandemic, they did a lot on social media and they've blown up. And it's like, it's just grown and it takes over the sidewalk. And it's so cool knowing what it started as and what it does now. And they have a very vibrant social media scene. So that's kind of fun. So start there. If you want to do a hike, not too far away, very much in my backyard, you've got Runyon Canyon. What's so cool about that? You can see the Hollywood sign. You could actually look over onto Hollywood Boulevard. When you come down, just do a quick loop through Hollywood Boulevard as like when you're in New York, you want to just walk through Times Square. You kind of do a quick walk through that. Then I would head over to the beach and then you go to Santa Monica, check out the pier. The Santa Monica Pier is the first fully solar powered Ferris wheel, which is kind of cool. You can do a little restaurant there for lunch, or you can head down to Venice Beach on Abbot Kinney. Really great as well, too. A lot of delicious places there. Cute place called The Butcher's Daughter. At that point, then I'd come back over sort of to this part of town, do late afternoon in Beverly Hills, maybe do an early dinner in Beverly Hills, just because it's nice to kind of walk around, window shop, and then head back to your hotel in West Hollywood. You've got a lot of nightlife there. You can go to the Famous Comedy Store. You can go see a concert at the Whiskey A Go-Go or whatever it is. So lots of things. And just in that one day, you will have checked off so many iconic places to see in the city.
Love it. So now Travel Weekly, you can take this report from Sarah Dandashi, put it out to the world. You've got your 24 hours in LA from an expert.
Oh my God. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for asking a concierge. So yeah, come to Los Angeles if it's on your radar. We would love to have you. All right, next topic here. Deer Valley's resort has had a significant expansion. So the Deer Valley Resort in Park City, Utah, there we go, is undergoing a major expansion, adding over 3,000 acres to its skiable terrain. What's so cool about this is that it's going to more than double the size of the current resort. And then basically it'll be positioned as the fourth largest ski area in the U.S. That's huge.
And I love it too, that they're adding a new East Village.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is they're going to create new amenities, new guest experiences to kind of elevate everything. And so, look, I'm not a huge skier being down here in Miami.
No,
but the times I have gone have been great, other than the last time where I almost flew off the mountain because I didn't know what I was doing. But this sounds good to me. I would like to hang out and check out the lodge, the experiences, check out their spa. I think that would be a lot of fun when I'm over there.
Well, and what I will say, just because I just did a TV segment on it, we are entering the season of that sort of like late season skiing, spring skiing, which is a fantastic time. If you to go skiing, you've got these bluebird days where it's, beautiful blue skies. The snow is still fantastic. That you've got a lot of little parties that are going on in and around the area, at the different, big ski destinations. So, this is kind of coming at a good time for that. So.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe it gets me going out there again on that mountain. I haven't been
maybe. Well, I'm kind of right there behind you. I have not been an avid skier so much in my life, but I'd go out there now and do it.
Sounds good. Deer Valley, let us know.
Woo! All right. Let's talk about air travel. Well, there are a couple things to talk about that. Do you want to lead this part of?
Well, yeah, I would like to talk about this first. We've got a lot of airplanes falling out of the sky, which is making me nervous to travel through airlines and airplanes, but I know that there's millions of flights that go around the world every day, and it's a safe thing to do. So I don't know, gets me a little nervous going out there. Before we jump into this news, what do you think? Like, we've seen a lot of videos of these things. We saw the Delta flight. Luckily, everyone was safe, which is amazing.
If that is not an advertisement for why you need to wear your seat belts, I don't know what is. I mean, the fact that everybody survived. I mean, I saw an interview with a gentleman. Oh, so for those that don't know, you probably do because it's been all over the news, but a Delta flight flying into Toronto, I think it was from Minneapolis.
Yep.
And it was one of those smaller planes, the CRJ 200, I think. Basically went in for landing, kind of like smacked the ground and kind of like bounced a little bit and then almost like
rolled over.
Yeah, rolled over, which is insane. All of the passengers on board got off. Everybody was okay, miraculously. It's interesting. Like, I don't know what's going on because these all seem to be freak instances. They're random and they're not related. They're not the same. They're just, I mean, I don't know that you could say this would have to do with like the air traffic controllers. I don't feel like that's the case. Yeah.
I just think you said it right. Like I was actually, when I read that, I was thinking about all the people that work on that plane that made sure everyone was wearing their seatbelt, was sitting the right way, took care of everyone, because it could have gone a whole different way if they hadn't done that. So I'm happy to hear that. But let's talk about some other things that are going on in the airports. And I've talked about this with you before. So
no. I love talking about this.
Airport lounges facing overcrowding challenges.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've talked about this a bunch. There's more credit cards. There's more points. There's more people trying to be exclusive and to get into that club. And they're having a lot of problems. So JetBlue is planning to debut its first lounges at JFK and Boston. And they're trying to focus on more of the experiences. Yeah. I keep saying that treat the whole airport that way. And then you don't have to have all these lounges everywhere and have those unique experiences throughout the airport. So airports could get ahead of this. But yeah, they're packed. Every time I've traveled, it is slammed in these lounges. So what do you think when you see all of this going on?
Well, I love that you bring this up, is that like make the whole airport, like elevate the whole airport experience. And I think, and for those that travel significantly internationally, I think we can really look to international airports that have really done a fantastic job. Like the airport in Doha, in Dubai, in Istanbul. I mean, even the airport when I was in Cambodia, it's a brand new one. Like it's a destination in and of itself. I feel like in the US, we're a little bit behind. Granted, there's a lot of airports, especially regional ones. If you elevate the experience. Sure.
They're starting. Like Miami they're starting to get there in one wing. New York has done a couple of things at LaGuardia that are pretty nice.
And same in Los Angeles. I mean, it's, oh my gosh, I feel like they've been working on the airport here forever, which by design is challenging, and it's very much at capacity. But yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. Like so many people have credit card perks, this, that. Everybody's become a smarter traveler, and they are taking full advantage of these of the lounges. And I mean, I get it because I travel a lot. So for me, it becomes my second home when I'm on the road, as far as like, okay, I know I can get a bite to eat and do that. But it's what we're seeing. And that's, I think a lot of the airlines got a lot of pushback because they sort of changed their status program, because so many people were able to reach status. And they're like, well, I have status, so I should be able to get into these lounges. And so they've been trying to thin the herd so that, not everybody has such high status, and hopefully will then ultimately thin the herd, so to speak, in the lounges. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I have an experience from Boston this past when I went for New Year's, right? So I didn't talk about this. I went to the Delta Lounge with my family, so 4 of us, and presented my American Express Platinum card, and they said, okay, it's you plus a guest, and you have to pay $50 for the kids.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I have 2 credit cards. I have 2. I have a business one and a regular one. Yeah. And they're like, no, it doesn't work that way. I was like, well, I have a third one too. We have all the benefits on 3 of these platinum cards. I can't get in. They're like, no, you still have to pay for everybody.
Yeah.
So slightly annoying that, yes, I've spent all this money on all these credit cards for business and personal, and I still couldn't get a family of 4 into a lounge without paying the extra $100 for the kids.
Yeah. And that did totally. And then you sit there and you're like, is it going to be worth $100? Like, will we eat $100 worth of food or this? Or
we'll see you later. So I was a little annoying, right? It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we doing here?
No, it's tough. It's tricky. I get it. I actually just saw on a thread today on a Facebook group randomly that somebody was saying that they have priority pass, and they're like, what is the point of it? I've had priority pass for a year, and they're like 95% of the time that I go to a lounge that accepts priority pass, I can't even get in. And I was just like reading the comments because I get it. I see it. I also have priority pass. It tends to work a little bit better, I feel like, internationally, but it's based on the occupancy. And obviously, if we're talking about airport lounges are facing overcrowding, it's challenging. Wait, what airport was I just at? I was just at one that had a Chase Sapphire. I think the Chase Sapphire, that might have been in Phoenix. Not like I've been to that many.
Yeah,
airports.
I saw it in Phoenix when I was connecting there. I saw one there.
With the Chase Sapphire one?
Yeah.
I wanted to go in so badly because I haven't been in a Sapphire lounge. So I was like, oh, this would have been cool. I just, for some reason, didn't.
There was a line in that one too. But for listeners out there and viewers, are you having the same trouble too as you're flying around? I know a lot of you do a lot of traveling. I'd love to hear.
Yeah.
Do a little report back on this one.
I know.
It's my pet peeve now. Now I'm annoyed by him. So.
Oh, right. So funny. That's a pet peeve. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. So speaking more about airlines, there's navigating airline seat downgrades. So this is not the seat that you paid for. Here's what to do if you get downgraded on a flight.
Yeah, what do I do? I have a big flight coming up. What happens?
I mean, ultimately, it's like you have to document what happens. Make sure that you've got proof that you were in one seat and then you were downgraded to another, and then reach out to the airline after the fact. Most of the time, you'll get compensation for the difference. I had a similar thing happen on the way back, right in December, on the way back from St. Thomas. My colleague was booked on first class, and I was in regular class, but using my status. And then they squeezed us on a flight. We both got into Delta Comfort. I technically still got like an upgrade because of my status. She had, even though she had paid for first class, she had to do Delta Comfort. And then they ended up giving her a significant amount of points as an apology for it. Yeah, as a trade. I mean, to be fair, we were also flying standby. So that also happens. But I feel like the downgrades really happen more so when they're changing the planes. So let's say they've got like a big plane and it has, so that's really when you're seeing it. Cause I know people are like, wait, what, how is this happening? It is a rare circumstance. It would be a downgrade if you're flying standby and like, they just can't put you in the class that you had originally booked. But you are getting on the earlier flight. So they help you out that way. Or if they're changing the actual plane. And I've actually been upgraded when they've changed planes. So it just depends. But again, you just kind of like keep track of it and then reach out because they'll definitely compensate for it.
Yeah, it seems like it's not a huge thing, but be aware of what you got going on there. I like it.
Totally. All right. Ooh, this last little time, we talk a lot about airlines and stuff today. So this was interesting. I don't know if we saw the picture for the. Okay, yeah, look at this. So cabin crew is under investigation for on-wing photo shoot. Like, what is going on? They decided influencers in the wild. What's happening? The airline has now launched an investigation because there were several, not just one, but several flight attendants who were caught opening up the emergency exit, big no-no, and posing for photos on the aircraft's wing while waiting for takeoff. OMG.
And this, before anyone asked, this was not planned. So this was not like, hey, let's organize this with the airline. We're going to get a nice PR photo on the wing for some reason. This was just the team deciding, hey, let's get this picture out here on the wing. Let's open up the emergency door. Let's walk on the wing that may or may not fall off. Everyone's nervous about
the ring is not going to fall off.
Yeah. But just not great timing, right? When you see all these things happening, got to be a little bit self-aware, just not good at all. So I don't know what else to say about this other than this is crazy. Like, you don't need to get that photo that way. Well,
it's interesting. Like, they clearly never posted the photo or else we would definitely see. But I'd want to know, like, who are these? Like, do they have a significant following? Like, we'll find out, I guess, at some point. But talk about doing it for the gram. But that is.
It was in South Korea. So who knows what was going on over there, it looks like. So anyhow, but this brings me up to another question. Okay. We can maybe flip this just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
A lot of people at work, everyone has their phones now.
Yep.
Take pictures at work and sometimes post things they shouldn't. Do you have any guidelines that
Oh,
would
yeah.
be good for hospitality companies to allow their team? How do we get that? Because everyone still has their phone on. There's an addiction. You tell them they got to put in a locker or put it away or do
Totally.
things, but everyone still has it. Still taking pictures everywhere. How do you control that?
Well, I mean, so it's interesting that you bring that up because I give a lot of thanks to my last place of employment because they allowed me to, it was again within reason, but it's like I posted stuff about the hotel and I would tag the hotel and I would be like walking behind the scenes and still tag the hotel. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, so long as you're doing it in a respectful way, you're not throwing anybody under the bus. It's all positive. I feel like hotels should actually kind of embrace it because that type of stuff, like people love that. Have you seen the doorman? There's a doorman in New York City that dances outside of, and I forget the hotel. And I think it's a hotel and not actually like a home, or condos. And like, how cool and exciting, And so if it's done well, like it's
That's
great.
The thing. How do you do it well? That's why, because I like it. I like doing it. I got in trouble a couple times at my last hotel.
Yeah.
The corporate director of marketing would call me and say, "Take down that post."
But wait, okay. So when they told you to take down the post, what was wrong with your post? Was it bad? Like
one
you
of
weren't
them
complaining? Like you
no,
don't want to.
It was during COVID, and people were not. They could not tell they were 6 feet apart in a meeting, right? Like even though I made sure everyone was split up or spread out, it was, hey, it's not far enough. Another one was
that's also fair. That was a weird time.
That was a weird one. Another one was like back of house. They didn't want back of house being shown at a corporate level. I was like, okay, whatever, So I took those down, but for the most part, I would do things.
Oh yeah, this guy, dude. This
so I think that there's good things though, because then you want people to promote the business as if they are owning it and doing a good job and showing. Like I see, there's a guy on Royal Caribbean that does a great job.
Totally.
He's a musician, but he shows like behind the scenes on TikTok, and I'm like obsessed with it. Like, oh, that's what their cafeteria looks like. Oh, that's so cool. Like
totally.
Mm-hmm.
See, people are into behind the scenes. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things like so long as it's tastefully done, it's not like they're going to be showing anything that should be. I mean, obviously, what you're talking about, the pandemic thing was a very specific thing. Oh, yeah, and like there was just a weird time in general. But like I think properties should embrace it so long as it's done in a positive light. But it's also tricky too, because let's just say somebody shares something.
Private about guests, right? Like I could see
obviously they can't do that. That's like for sure a no. But let's say they do share something positive, but then you go to that person's Instagram page or their TikTok, and then they have like scandalous stuff that they're posting bikini photos or like whatever different things that are kind of scandalous. I could see how that it does get tricky because that, for example, the person's
that's the brand.
Yeah, that's not really in line with it. So it is a challenging fine line. I would just say that if somebody is going to do that, if you are employee going to do that, just think about the bigger picture. And if you're going to do any of that stuff, just try to have it on one of your more professional pages. Just, you're taking ownership too. Like
keep it professional. I think that's a good tip.
Keep it professional.
In the hotels, we give a couple filters. Like this is what you're allowed to post. I think that would be helpful too. Some guidelines.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, let's get to our real-time recap.
Let's do it.
What have you seen out there in the world of hospitality?
I got a couple things going on. Look, I'll tell you like this. I'm booking. My kids have their birthdays pretty close. And so we're doing a joint birthday party at I won't give the exact location because who knows who might show up. But we're planning at a place, and they made it very easy to book.
Awesome.
Right? There was a couple places you had to call. No one's getting back to you. You have to email. I have to text. I can't get anyone.
Yeah.
This one made it very simple. Here are the packages. You can book it directly online. They have a party host call you. And then they set up everything with you to organize it in a nice, easy way. And it's stressful booking these things in the first place. So have it booked nice and easy to really care about what the parents go through and not make them jump through hoops. Excellent job. And It's report back once the party's over to see if it actually went well.
That's awesome. I love it when that type of stuff ends up working out. It's cool. I was going to ask when the birthdays are, but you could say afterwards.
Yeah. They had their birthdays. So now they're 7 and 9. That's amazing. Growing fast.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And so one other thing going on too, Wine and Food Festival. down here in Miami
Yes.
taking place. All the stars are starting to check into their hotels. I'll be at the tribute dinner, which is the big event on Saturday night at the Lowe's Miami Beach Hotel, where they honor some of those.
Amazing.
So excited to be there. I'll share some pics with everyone afterwards.
Ooh, that'll be so fun. So fun. All right. Well, I had an interesting experience over the weekend. I actually flew out of Burbank Airport for the very first time. And for those that know Los Angeles, obviously you've got the main airport, LAX, but there's also an airport in the Valley, Burbank Airport, which is a fan favorite. People love it. I knew it was going to be a cool experience because it's a smaller airport. But it's like really small. It's crazy. Like I just kept thinking, how is this an airport in a major city? I mean, you roll up and first of all, they have valet parking. I mean, you have valet parking in like some big ones, but it was reasonably priced valet parking. To be fair, I also had a very tight turnaround. I was supposed to be on TV at 8:20 a.m. My segment was at 8:40 a.m. and my flight was leaving at 9:40 a.m. So I had a very bit of a busy morning. But I got there and before my flight, dropped off my car with valet, went through. Of course, I was still dressed up like in a blazer, belt, whatever, run through TSA. Just like laughing because I'm like, we just need to get through here, like, and just keep it light, keep it upbeat, even though inside I was like having a meltdown because I do not. But TSA was super friendly. Everybody was great. They were having a good time. I love that I like walked up to the TSA guy. I was just like, all right, I fly all the time, but I never dress like this when I travel. What do I need to take off to make this a smooth process? He was like, boots and belt. I'm like, done. And like, we went through and everyone was like, oh, good job. You did it. Like, it was like, who knew TSA would become like a group event, you know what I mean? Like a team effort. But it was fun and it was a great airport. Everybody was super nice there. So shout out to everybody working at Burbank Airport that's keeping that small town spirit alive while you're in a major city. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Burbank Airport. You got to check it out.
Put it on the radar. Put it on the radar. Okay. Why don't we get here to our hospitality quote? Ooh,
all right.
Read that.
Quality is never an accident. It is always the result of an intelligent effort by John Ruskin. And that is true. Those are all the small details that we think about, especially in hospitality. There's so many moving pieces, whether it's training or equipment or vibe or music or scent or whatever it might be, that all come together to give that quality. So I love that quote.
Yeah, it's great. No, and it is quality is intentional, you know, and it's like, and that's the whole thing. It's like, as you mentioned, it's like all of these aspects are working together to really like elevate whatever the experience is. So
whether experience or products, like I'm looking for more and more quality products. I feel like all the stuff we buy now is like you buy it and it's broken in a year, whether it's clothes or technology or other things. It just seems like the quality has gone down in a lot of things.
It's not the same. We are living in a fast consumer lifestyle, and it's wild.
Yeah, I could talk about that a lot too. Next episode.
Next episode, we'll talk about fast consumerism. Wow. Well, this was a fun show.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of travel, a lot of good things, and congratulations again on the TEDx talk. Make sure to check out Sarah's TEDx. It's in the link is in the comments here. Make sure to check it out. Go support Sarah. All the stuff she does for us, go give her a like on that video.
Oh my gosh, you were too kind. And go buy Steve's book, okay? Yeah. If you haven't done it yet, go do it. Yes. Keep it going. Oh my God. There we go.
Keep it going, folks. Keep the support going.
All the things.
We love you all. Stay hospitable, everybody.
Yes. Stay hospitable. Bye.